The Guymon Public Library and Arts Center website was created by the library director and is partially funded by the Institute of Library and Museum Services. The site is maintained currently by the director and the Adult Services librarian. It has a rather busy first page, as you can see. Lots of things going on. It is organized by 7 tabs with drop-down menus across the top of the home page. The fact that the home page has so many things going on and that the animation and images on the page are so large makes the page seem cluttered and disorganized. The hours of business and contact information are located at the bottom of the home page, along with information on how to connect with the library through Facebook and a section that reads, "Find a good read in the library," but has no actual information with it or reason for it to be there. The main concerns of Guymon Library's director and adult services librarian have to do with accessibility for elderly patrons who want to use the website to find out information about the library, its services, its programs, and its materials. 4 specific usability concerns were mentioned. First, there is the ease of navigation to consider. The main page of the site has a jumbled appearance with lots of images and text, and the 7 tabs don't really lead to where someone might think they lead. Second, the organization of the site isn't very effective and can be confusing. This could be frustrating for someone searching for specific information. Third, the site is in need of better visual appeal. Some parts of the site are bland and do not engage the user into wanting to explore. Lastly, the site could do with simpler access to library services information. This includes such information as locating library databases and programs. Forms of testing of the Guymon Public Library and Arts Center website were consideration of users, testing the site with WAVE, the Web Accessibility Evaluation Tool, and card sorting, a typical task that users of the site might undertake. The typical user of the Guymon Public Library and Arts Center's website is someone who may be somewhat savvy with the use of the internet and how websites are organized, but often needs help finding specific items of interest on the library's webpage. WAVE's report on the site, which you can see here, indicates that the site needs work to allow people using accessibility tools such as screen readers to utilize the site. This includes providing alternative text for images, among other things. You can see the results of the test here. The report also confirms that the site has issues with organization and that there are many headings that can make navigating the site problematic. We also tested the Guymon Public Library and Arts Center website by imagining 2 users, an ideal user, George, and an underserved user, Marie, and evaluating the site as if we were these users. You can click the link below each user's pictures to read his or her story on the supporting website. For the ideal user, George needs to visit the library to use the computer and printer to print off an email with plane ticket confirmation, but first must find out when the library is open and its location. He searches Google for Guymon Public Library and comes across a link that looks promising. Clicking on the link, he discovers himself on the library webpage, but isn't sure where to go to find out the library's hours and location. He is afraid the library will close before he can get his task completed, so he notices that across the top of the page there is a header labeled About. He knows that in the past he has seen information such as addresses, phone numbers, and hours on other pages under this header, so he clicks About. On the About page, George finds not only the address and hours of the library, but also he finds a brief history of the library and a phone number he can call in case he has any more questions. For our underserved user, Marie is unable to find information on how to sign up to use one of the meeting rooms. While she is able to find the sign-up form, she can't figure out which days and times each meeting room is available and who to contact in order to arrange their meeting. For one thing, the library page's headers make it difficult to figure out where the meeting room information will actually be located. Marie doesn't see anything about meeting rooms and thinks it must be someplace on the main page. After much searching, she thinks it might be mentioned under Services, and sure enough, that's where it is. Once on the meeting rooms page, she can find a picture of each meeting room and the document to fill out to reserve one. However, nowhere is it indicated which rooms are free at which time and date. Finally becoming frustrated, Marie finds the library's phone number and calls to set up the meeting, when this could have all easily been done with a scheduling program. Another test that was conducted on the library's website page was the task flow and card sorting. A task that Guymon Public Library and Art Center's website often features is utilizing the local historical newspapers database. Because the database is mainly accessed from the library's catalog page, the card sorting caused some confusion for the 3 users who volunteered to take part in the activity. The first user, and this is the original task flow, notice it shows from the main library page, then you have to go to search and find, choose local history. Once you're on that page, you choose digital newspapers, which then takes you back to the catalog page, and then finally you find the newspaper database. So in the first picture, the first user wanted to use all of the cards and so couldn't figure out where the catalog page fit into the scenario. You can see this one here in the first card sort. Notice that they started at Guymon Public Library's main page, went to search and find, then wanted to go to the library's, thought that would take them to the library's catalog page where they could click on digital newspapers, then local history, and then click on historical Guymon area newspapers database. And while this does use all of the options, it's a little out of order and it's a little cluttered. The second user was also confused by the catalog page card and decided to take that card out completely and leave the others in much the same order as the first user. So you can see here in the second card sorting how they just completely took the catalog page out. This is really good because they noticed that that was an unnecessary step to have to go all the way to the catalog page to find the database. The third user said she didn't understand why there just couldn't be a direct link from the library's main website and the page that held the newspapers. So she took out all of the cards except for the main library page card and the newspaper database card, and you can see that here in card sort 3. So it is obvious that the card sorting activity caused some confusion for users who participated in the activity to find the link to the historical newspapers section. It was deduced that links to such databases and services should be provided on the page itself instead of having the user be redirected to the library's catalog page. The redirection causes an unnecessary step that can make users give up before they find the information they're looking for. Suggestions for improvement to the Guymon Library website fall under 3 categories: clutter, accessibility, and links to services. Some suggestions are remove the pictures and text and instead provide one overall picture centered in the screen to represent the library. Users of the site, especially if they are older, are not going to read the entire home page to find the information they seek. In fact, all of the cluttered pictures and text could lead to confusion and frustration due to overload. This also includes moving information about the library's hours, address, and phone number to the About tab and creating a new tab, Social Media, to provide links to the library's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube pages. Also, provide alternative text for images. This appeals to the older adult user or anyone else who might have vision problems and who might be using a screen reader to access the information they are searching for. Also, remove flash elements on the home page because some users' computers may not have the proper technology to display these elements. Provide direct links to databases such as the historical newspapers under the Services tab instead of directing the user to the library's catalog page. This way, the user has a direct path to what he or she wants instead of having to go to a completely separate page. This avoids the frustration that the user might have as a result of having to go to several different places to find his or her answers. Some next steps that the library could take. Further, more in-depth testing may be necessary to identify whether or not the original testing modifications are enough to make the Guymon Public Library website more user-friendly, specifically to older adults. A suggested round of testing could include recruiting a set of regular patrons to test out modifications and current website status. These could be a comprehensive set of patrons, or, if the focus remains on acquiring more older adults, 60-plus-year-old patrons. The director or adult services librarian would provide the library's website URL and laptops and perform a usability test. Using a short list of tasks, the test administrator would observe the patrons completing the tasks and record observations of ease of use and other usability aspects. Next, the administrators of the test could compile a list of questions for patrons to reflect on the tasks and ease of use of the site, and the administrators could conduct short interviews over ease of use, visual appeal, organization, and other aspects of usability addressed in the tasks and questions. All of this testing could lead both to discovery of other issues not noticed in the card sorting and wave testing, and verification that alterations done to the site after original testing are effective. Thank you.